What's up, gamers? Welcome back to another episode of Video Game Gems. I'm Ginge the Ripper. Let's play a game. Paper Mario: The Thousand-Year Door is a classic GameCube game that fans of Mario and RPGs should check out if you haven't already. It is undeniably the best game in the Paper Mario series. Actually, that's not true. Origami King and Color Splash are better because they're recent. Everybody knows newer is better. Thousand-Year Door is from the stupid olden days. I like the stupid olden days! Thousand-Year Door plays to the strengths of its predecessor, refining and improving on the positives, resulting in a more creative world. The game also takes inspiration from Superstar Saga, the first installment of the Mario and Luigi series, again playing to its strengths, birthing some of the most fun and unique gameplay in the Mario series. The narrative revolves around Rogueport, a town notorious for its criminal activity and shady characters. With the legend of an ancient treasure leading them all to Rogueport, Mario's journey is full of unexpected twists and turns. The player immediately understands this when they first arrive. The bleak and bland colors of Rogueport set the atmosphere and tone of the game. A noose hangs in the center of town, and the player is robbed almost immediately after arriving. We're not in the Mushroom Kingdom anymore. Rogueport is a new world with new rules, and the stakes are higher. Peach finds herself walking around the streets of Rogueport when her ship stops to refuel. While there, she discovers the map of an ancient treasure buried under town, locked behind the Thousand-Year Door. She sends it off to Mario, hoping he will aid her on her quest to find the treasure. When he arrives, Peach is nowhere to be found. Mario is tasked with saving the princess yet again while uncovering the mysteries of Rogueport as each step leads him closer to the treasure. Man, Peach getting kidnapped is like the Chaos Emeralds of the Mario world. I don't care how fun a Mario game is, when your primary objective is to save Peach, the story feels dull and boring. Why go on the adventure in the first place? You already know what's gonna happen. But when she takes a back seat and saving her is a subplot, the game becomes interesting. Nintendo desperately needs to create new concepts instead of constantly using Peach as a catalyst to kick off every Mario game. But I digress. What's behind the Thousand-Year Door? No one knows for sure. Some say gold or a rare item. Others argue a demon soul, or that the treasure doesn't exist. The only way to find out is to collect all 7 crystal stars and crack that baby open. Ooh. Mario and Co. aren't the only ones searching for the legendary treasure. A group of bad guys known as the X-Nauts are targeting anyone asking questions about the Thousand-Year Door, and they'll stop at nothing to reach it first. They kidnap Princess Peach knowing she had info about the map, and now that they know its whereabouts, their targets are set on Mario. The world of Thousand-Year Door is incredibly diverse, from its unique character designs and personalities, to its expansive and expressive areas. There's something for the adventurous side in everyone. My favorite chapter is Chapter 1, Castle and Dragon. While it may be the most straightforward chapter, medieval settings are my jam. But Ginge, I hear you loyal fans cry, you're the dark story guy. How is Chapter 4, For Pigs the Bell Tolls, not your favorite chapter? Well, for 2 reasons, one of which has to do with nostalgia. Thousand-Year Door was the first RPG I ever played, well, aside from Super Mario RPG. But since I was only able to play that game at my aunt's house, I never got around to finishing it until it came to Virtual Console on the Wii. Until Thousand-Year Door, most of my games were simple platformers on the GBA, with straightforward narratives. Exploring Hooktail's castle for the first time was riveting. I kept wondering how much higher I'd have to climb until I finally reached the top, enduring all sorts of traps and puzzles along the way. And when I finally reached the door to the boss, I was anxious to finally see what this bad boy looked like that had been terrorizing Petalburg, and wondered if I was prepared. Being my first RPG, I spent a lot of time running from enemies and focusing on the task at hand instead of the world around me. I didn't do what I was supposed to do. I didn't know what I was supposed to do. And when that wave of euphoria washed over me after killing Hooktail on my 9th try, I felt my first real sense of accomplishment in a video game. The second reason Chapter 1 is my favorite is for the atmosphere of Hooktail's castle. Aside from a few dead bodies here and there, the castle doesn't have a dark aesthetic. On the contrary, it's comforting, almost inviting. Every time I traverse the castle, I feel like a kid exploring every nook and cranny of my parents' house on a weekend afternoon while they're out shopping. There's a sensation of safety in the unknown. There's no hurry to reach the top of the castle. and no reason to be on guard 24/7. It's mesmerizing, with a charm that no other chapter has. I could see myself settling down here. Here's the living room, the game room, and the guest bedroom. Ah! Each chapter is a breath of fresh air, a different world, a different atmosphere. Bogley Woods is ominous, yet calming, with its beautiful black and white flora illuminated by a rainbow path. Chapter 2 revolves around the great tree in the middle of the woods, home to a race called Punies. Mario is tasked with collecting and convincing them that there are strength in numbers, no matter how small. Glitzville is a small tourist attraction in the sky, famous for the Glitz Pits, an arena where fighters compete for glory. The crystal star is attached to the champion's belt, and if Mario wants it, he'll have to battle his way to the top while solving a horrifying mystery behind the scenes. Twilight Town is covered in darkness, with the citizens turning into pigs left and right, at the tone of a bell located in Creepy Steeple, past the dark forest. To save the town and snag the crystal star, Mario must travel to Creepy Steeple and fight the trickster without being tricked himself. The other chapters are just as unique. I could dedicate an entire page to each of them, but I want to keep the spoilers to a minimum for those who haven't played yet. The best way to experience Thousand Year Door is to go in blind, and the only way to understand why Thousand Year Door is such a critically acclaimed game and a timeless classic is to play the game yourself. Like Super Mario RPG and Paper Mario 64, Thousand Year Door continues the trend of creative characters. It has the usual suspects like Toads, Goombas, Koopas, what have you, but they're all unique, apart from the standard designs Nintendo has become complacent with in recent years. A few of my favorites are my boy Koops rocking that awesome blue hoodie, and his girlfriend Koopy-Koo sporting a stylish ponytail. The train waitress is an adorable toad with purple pigtails and hearts on her cap instead of the usual dots. And Admiral Bobbery, a sailor Babam that lost his wife to illness while he was away at sea. He blames himself for her death as he was not around to look after her and vowed he would never sail again. And then you have several new and obscure characters, like the mice, bandits running around Rogueport. Two of them run a bad shop in the center of town and stock their inventory through unconventional means. Another favorite of mine are the citizens of Twilight Town, zombie-like characters held together by stitches. There are even several returning species like the Piantas, who started a mob in Rogueport responsible for giving the town structure, or the bartenders, who are residents from the Bean Bean Kingdom. Thousand Year Door has no shortage of interesting characters. Even the look-alike or bland characters are unique in their own way. Every NPC is on their own journey that plays out as you progress through the game. Talking to an individual at the start of a new chapter gives you insight on how his or her adventure is going, and they all wrap up at the end of the game. Three characters you'll constantly run into are the Traveling Sisters, a trio of toads, red, green, and pink, that travel the world, ironically ending up in the same places as Mario at the same time. They even get turned into pigs along with the residents of Twilight Town in Chapter 4. Meow. Another interesting side story is Luigi's adventure through the Waffle Kingdom. He is recruited by its leaders to save Princess Eclair, who was kidnapped by the evil Chestnut King. The only way to find her is to gather all the pieces of the Golden Compass that, when assembled, show the location of the Chestnut King's hideout, allowing Luigi to save the princess. Along the way, Luigi acquires his own party, with each member along for an ulterior motive, be it revenge, extortion, or pity. Luigi stretches the truth of his adventure a little to make himself appear more heroic than he actually is, but a quick chat with his party members will reveal the truth. From what Luigi tells you, his adventure plays out similarly to Mario's, gameplay-wise, which is why longtime fans have been asking for a successor to Thousand Year Door following Luigi's adventure, instead of this. The character designs and side stories gave us a reason to care about the NPCs. Thousand Year Door is full of fun, small details that enrich the world and were added solely to make the game more enjoyable. Sharks are found all over the game. Every time Mario falls into a body of water, he is bitten by one and loses 1 HP, whether it be an ocean, a fountain, or even a swimming pool. You unlock a Yoshi partner after obtaining an egg in Chapter 3. The Yoshi will change color based on the time it takes you to hatch it, with 7 possible colors to choose from. There are 2 special badges in the game that change Mario's appearance, the L badge and the W badge. The L badge gives Mario Luigi's colors, and the W badge gives him Wario's colors. and when wearing them together, Mario sports Waluigi's colors. Wah! Mario has two victory themes that play at the end of battles. The first is the standard theme you'll hear throughout the game. Second is an underwhelming jingle that plays if you battle poorly against weaker enemies, essentially mocking the player for doing bad. Intelligent Systems really went above and beyond to remind players how vast and connected the Mario world is, and in doing so, gave us another reason to appreciate the game. Thousand Year Door really sells the idea that you're running around in a paper-crafted world. The original Paper Mario had a few paper details here and there, but sort of just used the title as a way to explain the 2D characters in a 3D environment. But I think we can give it a pass since it started as a sequel to Super Mario RPG before it was reworked into Paper Mario. However, it set the foundation for the series, so when it came time to make a sequel, with a clear concept and a blank canvas, the devs were able to go all out. Every time you enter a building, every time you unlock an ability, every change to the world around you reminds the player that they are in a paper world. I think that's one of the reasons why diversity works so well in this game. You explore a dragon's castle, you shipwreck on a deserted island, you descend into darkness without feeling like you've left the world of Thousand Year Door. The majority of bosses have depth to them as well through the use of papercraft. Hooktail, the Blooper, Cortez, and Magnus von Groppel are 3D papercrafted bosses whose appearances are more threatening by design. Face me, dragon! Nope. Since Mario's inclusion to RPGs, he's flipped the genre on its head by implementing platforming elements, essentially giving the player more to do than just explore maze-like dungeons and follow the narrative. Thousand Year Door has a rich platforming environment with an endless amount of tasks to complete and secrets to uncover. The game expands Mario's arsenal of unique abilities, yet again using the paper aesthetic to its advantage. Not only is Mario equipped with his iconic jump and hammer, he also has several paper moves that allow him to explore the world in new ways. The paper airplane allows Mario to soar over large gaps. The paper boat allows Mario to sail through water without getting eaten by sharks. Paper mode allows Mario to slip through tight spaces and cracks in the walls. And the paper tube essentially allows Mario to do the same thing but with horizontal gaps. Whee! Like Paper Mario 64, Mario's partners also have unique abilities to aid him. Goombella provides you with info about the places you visited and characters you meet, as well as give you hints on how to solve puzzles. Koops attacks enemies and blocks at a distance, and collects items that are out of Mario's reach. Flurry uses the power of wind to blow incoming enemies away and tear pages out of the book, opening new paths for Mario. The baby Yoshi has the abilities of a common Yoshi. He can run fast and hover over small gaps. Vivian pulls Mario underground to avoid enemies and spy on NPCs. Bobbery blows up walls and can activate switches too high for Mario to reach. And Miss Mouse can sense when hidden treasure is nearby, using her nose like a game of hot and cold to find it. There are a vast number of collectibles in Thousand Year Door. Cooking made a return as a way for players to mix two items together and turn them into a better one. The recipes aren't significantly better than your regular items, but it's something fun to do when you need a break from collecting crystal stars. Shine Sprites are collectibles that upgrade your party. Once a partner has been upgraded, they do more damage in battle and gain a new attack. You can upgrade each partner twice. Star Pieces are a special currency the player can exchange to a shady shopkeeper below Rogueport for rare badges. Badges are collectibles that either enhance Mario in the overworld or in battles. There are badges that increase Mario's stats, give him new abilities, or protect him against special enemy attacks. Badges affect Mario differently, giving players several ways to play. Your badge combination reflects who you are, and allows you to play the game your way. For example, most of my badges increases Mario's attack power. With certain badges being stackable, Mario's standard jump can strengthen to 16 damage, making the ability more powerful than his strongest star power. And that's just his regular jump attack. Mario's special attacks increase as well.
Hut! Huh!
Thousand Year Door's battle system was a significant improvement over Paper Mario 64. The game gave the partners a health bar and added a new way to strategize battles by allowing you to swap the order in which your characters attack. This can also be useful on defense, as some enemies can only attack the characters in the front. Thousand Year Door strives to keep battles interesting with the unique way you pull off attacks. Unlike most Mario RPGs, where every attack is performed with a well-timed A press, some attacks have you pulling back on the analog stick, rapidly tapping R, or pressing a combination of different buttons in the right order before time runs out. A slot machine was also added to battles that lines up when Mario's attacks are consistent. Winning reels will reward Mario with various buffs like full health, full mana, full star power, or all of the above. If Mario is unlucky enough to win a poison shroom reel, it will half Mario's stats. Defending was also enhanced. A well-timed A press will reduce the damage a character takes, no surprise there. However, a well-timed B press will deflect an enemy attack, causing them to take damage instead of you, though deflecting attacks are more difficult as you have a smaller window to pull them off. Battle arenas are set up like a stage, with a crowd of enemies and Luigi watching you as you battle. Do well and the crowd cheers, filling Mario's star meter so he can use his star abilities, and occasionally get an item thrown your way by a fan. Do poorly and some of the audience members will leave, while others will throw rocks and cans at your head. Stylish moves were another unique feature incorporated into battles. Press the A button at the right time during an attack, and the characters will do stylish moves that appeal to the crowd, allowing Mario to fill up his star meter faster. Audience members will occasionally jump on stage, either helping the player or enemy by messing with the opposing team directly or with objects behind the stage. Another fun fact about battles is that the stages aren't structurally sound, so objects can fall from the ceiling onto characters' heads, or a strong attack can shake the stage and knock over props. Ow. In later battles, smoke machines are put on the stage to mess with the characters. They either blow out mist or fire. If they go off while pointed at a character, that character will either freeze or take damage. Smoke machines can also create a cloud of mist over the stage, making it hard for characters to see, causing them to occasionally miss. The mist will fade on its own, or can be removed immediately with Flurry's Wind or by detonating Bobbery. At the end of each battle, Mario is given star points and levels up every time he collects 100. Each time Mario levels up, you are given the choice to increase his health, mana, or badge points, allowing Mario to equip more badges. Once again, the way you level up depends on the kind of player you are. If you're someone who's afraid of taking damage, you might sink more levels into health. Or if you're someone like me who favors the creativity of badges, you may find yourself heavily leveling up your badge points. It all depends on your playstyle. Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door is nothing short of a work of art. Everywhere you look, there is just quality content. But as with all video games, it's not perfect and does have its flaws. Thousand Year Door's biggest downside is the amount of backtracking the game puts you through to pad its runtime. We can excuse chapters like 3 and 6 since they take place in small areas and backtracking works well within the rules of those chapters. Contrastly, Chapter 4 has you backtracking between Twilight Town and Creepy Steeple several times, and Chapter 7 makes you travel to each area again for the sake of a gag. The backtracking can be annoying at times, but it's more than tolerable since most of the areas are short, and I personally would rather travel back and forth between small dungeons than traverse an incredibly long and boring one. Short dungeons are also advantageous for side quests that have you revisiting areas. Another downside to the game is the lack of originality with partner abilities. Goombella has the same abilities as Goombario from Paper Mario 64. Another Goomba who tells you information about the world around you and has the same attacks in battle. The same can be said for Koops and Kooper, Bobbery and Bombette, Yoshi and Parakarry, Vivian and Bo. Even one of Mario's paper moves is a ripoff of Sushi's ability to carry Mario across water. Since Thousand Year Door was my first Paper Mario game, I wasn't aware of the similarities between the characters until I played 64 on the Virtual Console. But the similarities don't devalue the game. Thousand Year Door uses a lot of abilities from its predecessor, but has refined them, giving each ability a fair amount of time in the spotlight. No ability feels useless or underwhelming, and every partner with a returning ability either has an enhanced version of the ability or comes equipped with more than one ability. Okay, this last one is personal and doesn't really count as a downside, but I need to get this off my chest. The description of the L and W badges state that while wearing them, Mario swaps clothes with Luigi and Wario. But this is not actually the case, as Mario still sports his iconic M. This I don't mind, but if they're gonna go out of their way to make a claim like this, they could have at least swapped Luigi's clothes to red while Mario was wearing the L badge. What a missed opportunity. Twinsies! Alright, is Paper Mario the Thousand Year Door a gem? Absolutely. Thousand Year Door is a masterpiece, a combination of quality gameplay, an intense and immersive narrative, creative characters, and other small details that only improve the adventure. So we can say, without a doubt, that Paper Mario the Thousand Year Door is a bona fide gem, 100%. As per usual, when I remember, before we end the video, here are some fun facts about the game and the series as a whole. In early development, Thousand Year Door was simply known as Paper Mario 2 and had a lot of unused content. While we didn't lose anything too significant, there are a few interesting scrapped characters worth mentioning. An early design of Admiral Bobbery shows that he was originally a commander instead of an admiral, with the tail of a nuke for a crank. The Dark Atomic Boo was supposedly a mini-boss the player would encounter halfway down the Pit of 100 Trials. No one knows why it was removed, but if I had to guess, I'd say it's because the Pit of 100 Trials is already hard enough, without an extra boss to worry about. Back in the day, I would have agreed, but that was a time when Ginge ran from most enemies because battling the same enemies over and over again was boring. But nowadays, I really wish they kept this boss in the game. I don't think the Dark Atomic Boo would have been that hard to beat, as the original Atomic Boo was pretty easy, and an optional boss. And if you were well prepared, the Pit of 100 Trials is insanely easy, and could have used a mini-boss to keep things interesting. There's another unused robot boss named Okoru, who was scrapped early in development, with a gauge on his head that most likely would have filled while you fought him, and enraged him when it was full. Luigi was going to have another partner that was a Rainbow Spania. There's a Cheeseburger Spinia that was scrapped as well. And finally, there are two unused enemies the same species as Luigi's partner Screamy, with different color palettes. The purple Screamy has a freakout animation similar to the Ohojis from Superstar Saga after they've been attacked with fire or lightning. There are many more characters as well as items and badges that went unused in the final game. If you want to learn more about the beta of Thousand Year Door, there's a link in the description to a video by Yuri of Wind that covers it in Gaming Mysteries. Paper Mario Sticker Star was the fourth installment of the Paper Mario series, and is notorious for being not only the worst in the series, but an awful game in general. Besides its uninteresting characters and boring narrative, the gameplay was bland and battling was unnecessary as the player no longer gained experience from fighting enemies. You were still rewarded with money, but not enough to justify battling, so most players spent their time avoiding enemies and screamed obscenities when they couldn't get away fast enough, or when an enemy was blocking a collectible. Stop following me. Intelligent Systems essentially removed everything fun that fans had come to love and expect from the series, and released a boring game that the community couldn't help but hate, even if we didn't want to. The sad thing is, during early development, the game was similar to Thousand Year Door. Unfortunately, Miyamoto didn't like this. He was the one who told the team to do something different. He supposedly is also responsible for the bland characters we have nowadays, and wanted to release Paper Mario Origami King without a narrative. I'm not accusing Miyamoto of being the sole purpose for the series' decline, but Miyamoto has a lot of clout at Nintendo, because the majority of his ideas are good and help improve their games, but this is not always the case. I think we can all agree that removing unique characters and a narrative-driven game without a narrative are really bad ideas. They ultimately ruined what made the Paper Mario series so extraordinary. Miyamoto didn't want another Thousand Year Door because the game sold poorly, and Nintendo agreed, but their hatred was unjustified because the console it ran on, the GameCube, sold poorly. Contrastly, Sticker Star released on 3DS, a console that sold fairly well, and since Sticker Star was the first Paper Mario game with this new formula, we didn't know what to expect. We didn't know if the game was going to be good or bad, so we gave it a shot. In the end, Nintendo compared the two styles based on game sales rather than the ratio of games to consoles sold. In the end, they came to the conclusion that fans loved Sticker Star more and stuck with the new format. If everyone in the world who's played all 5 games in the series ranked them from best to worst, Thousand Year Door wouldn't just be on top, it would outclass the other four by miles, while the games with the new styles would be on the bottom, with Sticker Star placing dead last. I'm not saying that there aren't fans that enjoy the new Paper Mario. I've had fun with them myself, but they're so bland that they don't have any replay value. It's like comparing Galaga to Galaxian. While they're both similar, one has more content and was refined into a better game. You give me a choice between the two styles, I'm always gonna pick old Paper Mario because I'll have a better time. After Paper Mario The Origami King released, Intelligent Systems came clean about their decision to stick with the new style, stating that they don't want to create massive, world-ending stories anymore, and wanted to shift the series' focus away from RPGs. And there's nothing wrong with that. A story doesn't have to be over the top to be immersive, but it does have to be interesting, otherwise players feel like they're wasting their time. The shift from RPGs to whatever direction the devs are trying to take the series is okay as well. The problem is they haven't figured out exactly what direction that is. Therefore, it's a slow process to refine, which is why the new games aren't as good as the old ones. Eventually, Intelligent Systems will perfect the new Paper Mario and give us some great games. Will they stand the test of time like old Paper Mario? Only time will tell. We'll just have to wait and see what the future holds. Unfortunately, that also means we'll never get another game like Thousand Year Door, and since the company behind the Mario and Luigi series went bankrupt, the Mario RPG genre will fade from existence until a new company steps up to take the plate. But don't give up hope just yet. Chihiro Fujioka, the director of Super Mario RPG, is close to retiring, and has expressed interest in making a sequel to close out his career. With any luck, Fujioka will revive the series and set the foundation for a new era of Mario RPGs. Whoa, hey, I hope you enjoyed the video. It was a lot of fun to work on. I spent a couple days building the backgrounds and illustrating the poses for the characters. I wanted to show my appreciation for the game by putting as much effort and detail into my video as Nintendo put into the game, and I was really happy with the result. Thank you all so much for watching, and keep on gaming.